Okay, we're here at day 3 of Data Days Cleveland here at the Global Center for Innovation, and we're here with probably the superstar of the conference, Leon Wiltz from the Cleveland Foundation. Leon, what's your title at the foundation?
My title is Chief of Digital Innovation and Chief Information Officer at the Cleveland Foundation.
And the reason I call you a superstar of the conference is obviously the Cleveland Foundation provides support for the conference, which is greatly appreciated by all the attendees and the staff putting it on. But your input about bringing the power of data and technology to everyone, to the people, as you said, in Kinsman and Buckeye and Detroit and Lorain. Tell us the philosophy behind your and the foundation's approach to this.
Well, the philosophy is, as I said before to the audience, is about improving the overall quality of life. And when you talk about the quality of life for people in Cleveland, you also have to look at it from the digital lens and from the digital perspective. Everything we do, whether it's our investment in education, in the arts, in neighborhood development, revitalization, or civic engagement. And that's really the key space that we're talking about here, civic engagement, and how that manifests itself through open data, public data, and connecting the community with the municipal agencies through technology. So I've seen the power of these kind of concepts in other places before I joined the foundation, how when you bring the community together, along with the municipalities and even the nonprofit sector, the power and the amplification of making things happen that are sustainable and that can make the right kind of impact are just amazing.
Some people claim that the digital divide has been bridged because everyone has a smartphone or a tablet or something. But in reality, that's not the case, as you know. I mean, the kid who grows up in a wealthy suburb who just takes for granted to have access to hardware and fast internet and content is at a huge advantage over maybe the inner city kid who doesn't have that access and has to conform to the library hours or community center for works and stand in line. And what's the foundation's approach to that?
It's funny you bring that up because I have heard that. I even heard that here locally through some public officials that they might perceive because they see a lot of youth, even inner city youth, walking around with smartphones, that the digital divide really doesn't exist or people are exaggerating about that. And what I think that really tells us that we've almost taken that term digital divide and it's been basically bastardized or it's been taken and used for other purposes and so forth. What you find me a lot of times using the term is digital equity and inclusion, and really using that to engage the conversation and actually have those meaningful use scenarios and case studies that you just talked about where, well, what happens when that kid comes home from a CMSD school and goes in their home and still has to do a lot of homework. Some of that homework requires that they get online to download, to watch a bunch of YouTube clips and so forth, but they don't have internet access at home. Now they're at a disadvantage. When you start framing a conversation from just a label, digital divide, and start digging into the weeds and talking about the equity issues, the inclusion challenges as it pertains to participating in this digital economy, then even those folks that says that it doesn't exist get it. So it's really changing the conversation and moving away from just broadly saying with a broad brushstroke, the digital divide, and start talking about digital equity and inclusion challenges and opportunities and impairments.
That's a great phrase, and I'm going to steal that from you and use that from now on. This is the reason you're the superstar of the conference. We appreciate your support, and we look for more great work from you at the Cleveland Foundation in working on this digital equity situation.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.